2, 1. Cut that out stuff. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Mark. College radio.
Inside WERS.
Inside WERS.
Inside WERS.
Can I think about the question first?
Inside WERS.
Inside WERS.
Inside WERS.
I played a Metallica song at 6 o'clock in the morning, and that was kind of a rush.
Harsh. I love it.
Inside WERS.
Inside WERS.
Inside WERS.
Inside WERS.
Inside WERS.
Inside WERS, a behind-the-scenes look. The inside scoop on Boston's best radio station from the people that have made WERS what it is today. Inside WERS, a behind-the-scenes look. Hear what's going on beyond the airwaves. Brownstone of 130 Beacon Street housed radio station WERS when it officially signed on the air, November 14th, 1949 at 88.9 on the FM dial. And with that start marked WERS as the first non-commercial educational FM station in New England. Its dingy, crowded studios improved slightly in the 1970s when it changed locations, moving down one floor in the same building. The station operated at 900 watts throughout the decade, with an antenna on top of the Prudential Center. In 1984, WERS moved again, this time to the spacious, updated studios of 126 Beacon Street.
There's really nothing like being able to do your show with a window. Everything was new and fresh and a little more spacious.
In June of 1990, WERS moved its antenna from the Peru to One Financial Center, now operating at 4,000 watts.
Great.
Well, yes, it's nice, considering the station has been heard as far north as Maine and even down in Connecticut. But who's behind WERS? Meet Fran Berger, General Manager.
I like the idealism that anything can be done and all the creative juices can get pumping and we can try anything. And I love that, and you don't see that commercial world because you're going for something else. You're going for the almighty dollar. Here you're going for radio for the sake of radio and programming for the sake of programming and creativity for the sake of creativity.
Fran is just an unbelievable person, and I think that being able to run that place takes a lot of dedication and energy.
Emerson has a talent pool, number one, to do what we do. So we're already have a certain level of expertise when we go on the air, I hope.
So where does the music come from, anyway?
What is my job? Job description. All right, flip file. The job of music director basically is to ensure that we stay on top of the best new music that's being put out, and to a certain degree the most alternative music, because that's what we strive for a lot of times, music that you can't hear other places. So my job entails making sure that the shows have enough new music to keep their program, vital and current.
And with the music comes WERS's 6 weekday shows, kicking off at 6 a.m. with the Coffee House, the Jazz Oasis at 11 a.m., 3 hours later, Gyroscope, followed by Rockers at 5 in the afternoon. The night starts heating up around 8 when 88.9 at night takes over the airwaves, and Nightclub brings the music over the edge and into the morning, starting up at 11 and wrapping up at 2 a.m. Let's hear from the people that have made these shows what they are today, the coordinators, DJs, and alumni.
The Coffee House is WERS's folk show. We play music from people like Nancy Griffith, Greg Brown, and lots of other artists. We generally play folk music, but we're open to other kinds of acoustic music as well.
The people who listen to the Coffee House are just a remarkable group of people. They're responsive and they're concerned, and that they really consider the program an important part of their day.
We play a really wide variety of stuff, and we're more likely to take a chance on local musicians that, don't have a start yet.
88.9 FM WERS. Congratulations going out to Roger in Boston. He's going to see Fred Kohler at Saturday night in Marblehead, Massachusetts, this Saturday at 8:30 p.m. And right now I have Greg Brown going out by request here on 88.9 FM WERS Boston, a broadcast service of Emerson College. From everybody here at the Coffee House, we wish you a very good morning.
In general, folk musicians tend to be really nice people. They're, real friendly, and it's easy to get along with them.
Just the other day, I got a phone call from one of the guys, Danny Shapiro, who started the Coffee House 10 years ago. He's out at a station in San Diego, California, and he submitted a program proposal to us for a program about the Kerrville Folk Festival. And I was reading his resume, and I got to the bottom, and it said Danny and the co-host met at WERS in 1979 while creating the Coffee House. I thought, good Lord, the Coffee House Mafia lives.
I love you in the good morning and in the night.
The Jazz Oasis is a culmination of 60 to 70 years of jazz, ranging from traditional music all the way up to free and avant-garde music. Sort of give an example, Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Count Basie, all the way up to Henry Threadgill, Ornette Coleman, the World Saxophone Quartet, Sun Ra, folks like that. Where a lot of other radio stations tend to stay in one genre, we branch out and we try to mix everything in.
Bobby Enriquez off of the live piano album, a little something called All Blues. We had Roy Hargrove in here a little while ago talking to him. He's playing at Scullers tonight at 10:30. We gave away a couple seats to see that. And earlier today we had Susanna on the piano, Susanna Sifter Trio. James Whitney on the bass, and John Medham on the traps. They play every Monday night. They play at the Middle East. No, they play at the Willow. I'm sorry, the Willow Jazz Club every Monday night. We got a little bit of Wynton Marsalis.
Local music. 50 to 60% of our programming is supporting the local music around the Boston area.
And the word from former Jazz Oasis coordinators?
I'm doing a jazz show on FNX. So I'm doing pretty much what I was doing here on air anyway.
I just miss being a jock on the radio. I miss the music, the freedom to play, whatever.
Iswe makaya lelama wamangharaba salibati jenga bewenze janina ukela ubakaulu pendo ese horta siya township jam.
Gyroscope is a world music show that is on Monday through Friday from 2 to 4:40 p.m. World music entails almost everything. We play everything from ethnic jazz to world pop, world fusion, traditional rhythms, traditional music, and even a little experimental or way out there music. In Gyroscope, the word means to spin off in many directions, and that's exactly what the show does. It's a compilation of so many different elements, it's hard to put your finger on exactly what direction you were going to take.
Fela,
with Africa, Center of the World, off Music of Many Colors. You know, when I first came to ERS, I gotta say that a lot of music influenced me on this show, but feel it's kind of stuck with me from the beginning. But enough about that. Right now, the time is 4:15, and right now it's time for Gyroscope Concert Scope.
A home, boom, a home, boom, a home, a home,
At Night Stage in Cambridge, February 1st, Chakra and the Heavy Metal Horn. Big world music scene in Boston that not many people know about. When we first started, got a lot of calls, people telling us to put Fusebox back on, because we had a lot of people in that time slot listening to the Fusion show that has been on for years. And suddenly we took away their, like, security and put something radical and new in, and that kind of scared some people. But now, this semester, all I've gotten is rave reviews. Two musicians who were in here, like, 3 weeks ago, told me that Gyroscope is the buzz of the, like, underground musical community.
Rockers is WERS's reggae program. Reggae encompasses all the way back to the old 1960s and early 70s ska music, to the mid-70s, late 70s roots music, Rastafarian music, and the mid to late 80s dancehall music. And we also throw in some other island music like Caribbean and soca. So everybody who's a reggae fan and wants to hear it on the radio tunes into us, basically.
Oh, yes. Nice song. Niceness right there. Pato Banto. We got lots and lots of requests. I like that. Keep it up. 578-8890. My name is Jody. We have a request going out to Big Al from Cheryl in Arbondale. She told me that Big Al turned her on to the Rockers, so good going, Big Al. This is Third World.
Over the years, we've experimented. We've had some wonderful students who had a feeling that certain programs would work. For example, reggae.
I asked whether or not they would be interested in doing just strictly a reggae program, and they said yeah, and so they put it on the air. It was called Strictly Rockers, and that aired on weekends up until my final semester, which was in fall of 1980, and at that point the show had gone daily. It just became the Rockers show.
Rockers is distinctive because it's one of the only reggaes in the city. We're the only daily reggae in the city. So everybody who's a reggae fan and wants to hear it on the radio tunes into us, basically.
88.9 at night is certainly an interesting show to do.
We play a mix of music. We play R&B music, we play house music, we play rap music, and we also play like hip-hop.
And to do 88.9 at night, it's just this one big stress, but it's so much fun at the same time because you're constantly getting calls.
I like our team so far because we're two people a night, a DJ and then a producer, and everyone gets along and they all work well together, and we're all friends, so we're all like tightly involved.
I can't do nothing for you, man.
Once you leave this place at 11 o'clock at night, after listening to 3 hours of hip-hop, house, urban, rap, and funk, you don't want to go to bed. You know, you end up staying up really, really late just because you're so wired from doing the show.
Nightclub is WERS's alternative rock show, but it's not alternative in the normal standards. Alternative now has become its own commercial music form, but we are a non-commercial alternative station. We break the bands before the commercial stations do.
Johnny's got a problem and he's out of control. Johnny's got a problem and he's out of control.
Gee whiz, I guess you haven't figured out that's Johnny's Got a Problem. DI, a request here on the Nightclub. I couldn't get exactly what they were looking for. Then again, did you actually ask for anything exact, or did you just say DI? I don't remember. Who wants to see the Blood Oranges tomorrow night at Night Stage? Well, you have to tell me who originally sang the song. Right now, this is the God Bullies, and they're doing a cover of an old 70s tune. But if you can tell me the name of the band that originally did this, you're on the list for Blood Oranges at Night Stage tomorrow night.
Nightclub started about 10 and a half years ago. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary this year. I see a recommitment to local music that we've been kind of lacking in currently, and I'm looking for a new sense of unity among the staff as to formatting changes and programming changes. We sort of live in the shadow of WERS's old Metro Wave program, and we're looking to dispel that image.
Inside WERS.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more from the inside. When the regular weekday format ends at 2 a.m. on Friday night, the weekend shows roll in to keep an eclectic array of music filling the airwaves. Enigma's in at 4 a.m. to play the latest new age music on Soundscapes.
It's tough to get up, but once you get in the studio, the music moves you, literally, and you're awake, and occasionally I may forget how to operate the CD player, but usually music just carries me along.
Saturday's music includes Broadway show tunes and salsa and Latin jazz on South Sibiri.
South Sibiri means whatever you want it to mean. It means my show. It's a word that me and my friend made up one day.
Atomic Funk gets funky on Saturday night, rolling into Sunday with Celtic traditions, and later on Sunday night, Nasty Habits.
It's really quite a versatile collection of hard rock, heavy metal, thrash, death metal, just a wide collection of types of rock and roll. And I've definitely, been into a little metalhead, if you want to call it that, since I was 13. I remember one time I tried making a request real late at night, and my mom got the phone bill, and she was like, "Who's calling Boston?" And I said, "Oh, I'm calling a radio show there." And I said, "It's at Emerson College." And she said, "Oh, Emerson, that's a good school."
It's 3:30 a.m. You're listening to WERS Boston, 88.9 FM, a broadcast service of Emerson College. This is Alternative Parameters, and I'm Kel Spectrum, spotlighting Boston's music scene today. Kill Devil Blues, you may know who they are, the backing band of Mr. Butch, who is otherwise known as the mayor of Kenmore Square.
Alternative Parameters wraps up weekend programming on WERS.
As news director, I oversee a news staff of 50-some-odd people and coordinate a reporting staff of 15 reporters who are bringing in work from around Boston every day.
Good morning, this is Benjamin Harris with the WERS 9 o'clock news update. In our top story at this hour, Soviet citizens who are planning to hold a demonstration today outside the Kremlin may now change their plans to a victory party.
We work very hard to be as objective as possible. We take a look at what the nation and the world is reporting as news to determine what's important to our listeners here in Boston.
Welcome back to Livewire News. About 3 million Americans earning minimum wage will make 45 cents more an hour starting today. Minimum wage is now $4.25 an hour.
We think that our WERS listenership is the type of listenership that's concerned about what's going on in their community, their state, and their region.
2 Roxbury men are dead this morning following separate shootings yesterday. Police said 27-year-old Roger Woods was shot multiple times in the chest outside 26 Smith Street at about 1:15 p.m.
These people have live, real-time, on-air experiences. They are out in the field doing interviews, talking to people on the phone, talking to the newsmakers, calling city council, calling the mayor, handling the news the same way any of the major New England media handle it.
This education is working towards that goal. Reporting for WERS News, I'm Rebecca Paquin.
One of the things I'm proudest of is oftentimes when I get home after doing the news at 4:40, if I turn on the 6 o'clock news broadcast, I find most of the stories that they cover we've already done.
News director Tom Lowell and his news team put out 3 updates a day at 9, noon, and 3 in the afternoon, plus a major 20-minute block of news Monday through Friday at 4:40 on Livewire. During every newscast, WERS also provides its listeners with the latest in sports. The sports department prides itself on getting crucial sports information that fans want to know, but not in the typical way as sports coordinator John Tecci tells us.
The ERS is pledged to be different than other radio stations, and we want to provide them with behind-the-scenes information, stuff they're not going to find anywhere else.
In addition to the daily updates, the sports department also produces a half-hour Sunday night sports show.
It's overtime.
Begin tonight's festivities with memorable words befitting the occasion.
Havlicek's got the ball! It's all over! It's all over! Johnny Havlicek is being mobbed by the fans!
Tomorrow, the WERS sports team will once again stand out in radio as they provide live coverage of the Boston Marathon. When it comes to providing in-depth information on issues and events affecting the community, the WERS public affairs staff strives to present all angles of the story.
Clearly, needles cannot stand by themselves, and that's the issue. Clean needles by themselves is not any form of treatment.
Well, I agree with you, Lawrence, that treatment on demand is absolutely essential. We both agree on that, and needles can't do it alone. Needles is truly a stopgap measure, but it's an effective measure. We have to use it now.
Hi, you're in tune with Wireless, the WERS Public Affairs program. I'm Wendy Heath.
And I'm Eric Budney. Tonight we'll be having a special issue debate edition of Wireless.
Tonight's half-hour debate will feature representatives from AIDS Brigade and First Incorporated.
They'll be discussing the Clean Needle Exchange program in Boston. Stay tuned to Wireless, where you'll get both sides of the story.
We're connecting you up with issues and events affecting Boston.
But public affairs covers more than just the issues. With reports from around the world,
After experiencing Brazil's Carnival, I must say I agree. Reporting from Salvador, Brazil, I'm Michelle Harash for Wireless on WERS.
and events going on around Boston,
The Boston Knights Report, a look at what's going down in town for the week of April 7th, 1991. I'm Kel Spectrum reporting for Wireless on WERS.
community issues and events on wireless, and public affairs reports on the Live Wire newscast. Only from the WERS Public Affairs team.
Inside WERS.
5 appointed students serve as managers at the station and oversee WERS. Some of the alumni we've been speaking with on Inside WERS include Senior Vice President of Programming at MTV, a promotion and publicity rep from Radio Today Entertainment, and a talk show producer at KNBR Radio in San Francisco. One thing's for sure about the old and the new at WERS, they're all one big family.
One thing we have to decide on is it a professional station or is it a learning experience?
I walked in as a freshman back in the spring of 1989, not knowing anything about radio, about journalism.
Oh, Lord.
I see ERS as being something that's just not only helpful for the students who are there to learn from it, but also it provides an amazing service to the community.
Any organization is only as strong as its weakest links.
The equipment is remarkable, and it's come a long way. We have some of the best state-of-the-art equipment.
The whole entire engineering staff, you have your news department, you have your production department, you have your public affairs department. I mean, everybody just works together. It's just like one big happy family.
We are all volunteers. For the most part, it is a student-run station. And the momentum is great. The enthusiasm is overwhelming.
I was hired 5 years ago as an audio technician. I worked my way up into what I'm doing. We started 5 years ago at Live Music Weekend, and I don't know whether she admits it or not, but I was the one who came up to her and said, you know, there's no reason why we shouldn't do this for a whole week.
Inside WERS.
Inside WERS, a behind-the-scenes look, has been a Public Affairs Department production. This is Mike Bodette, signing off.